Alright guys and gals, once again, it is I, Coach Q, back again with another fun-filled, action-packed, flipped geometry classroom video. And today it is the final part 3 of 3 of the trilogy of transformations. And today's topic is dilations. You guys know what dilations are? You ever been to check for your glasses, you know, and they gotta dilate your eyeball, they gotta dilate your pupil. They put those eye drops in your eyeballs and suddenly your pupil becomes really big and you look like you have no soul. Your eyes just become big, black, dull, lifeless circles. That's what dilations are. It's where it is the enlargement or reduction of a figure. An enlargement or reduction of a figure. So the scale factor indicates how much the figure will enlarge or reduce. Or there's something called the scale factor that pretty much tells you how much bigger, how much smaller our figure is going to be. And the variable for the scale factor, what letter do you think it is, guys? Take a guess. There's 1 out of 26 chance that you can just guess a random letter and get it right. If you said K, then give yourself a big high five, because how did you guess that? That's crazy. It's K. If K is greater than 1, then the dilation is going to be called an enlargement. And if K is less than 1, then the dilation is going to be a reduction. A reduction. So take a look at this diagram over here. Attention to there. Remember, the original is always just the normal letters A, B, C, and then your image is going to be, you know, with the primes. A prime, B prime, C prime. Now look at that picture. From the original, would you say it's an enlargement or a reduction? It got smaller, therefore it is a reduction. Isn't that wild? All right, so let's go down to some examples with Blackboard Guy. Okay guys, it is Blackboard Guy right here, and we're gonna do examples 1, 3, and 5 together, and we're gonna let you try the rest on your own. So take a look at number 1. Triangle RST has vertices at these points, and I'm just gonna suddenly use some magic to have it magically plot on the graph here. And would you look at that? There is our original points, R, S, and T, and we've got a scale factor of 2. That means everything's going to be twice as big as it was before. And how are we going to find those points? Well, all you have to do, you take the scale factor and you just multiply everything by that scale factor. So watch this. R is -5, 1. We're going to multiply by the scale factor, which is 2. So multiply by 2. And R prime is going to be -10, 2. So R prime is going to be over here. Bam. R prime. Then we're going to do the same thing with S and T. So S is at -3, 4. We're going to multiply by 2 everywhere. Now S prime is going to be at -6, 8. Oh my goodness. -6, 1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6, 7, 8 M's in my bank account.
Wait, what? And then T. Finally, T is going to be T is 2, -1, and then we multiply by 2 because that's the scale factor, and T prime is at 4, -2. 4, -2, and there is T prime. Now I'm gonna use some magic and have that assimilate each other. And there it is. Take a look. Our original is in the orange and our dilation is in the red. So our points, remember, they were -10, 2. That's R prime. S prime was -6, 8, and T prime was 4, -2. So that is all you gotta do. So let's try number 3. Now, number 1, our picture got bigger. And what was that called again? What did Coach Goose say that was called again? That's called an enlargement. Okay, and now number 3, take a look at the problem. Rhombus JKLM with vertices at these points. Bam, right there. And now we need to find our new points using the scale factor. So what's the scale factor here, guys? Take a look. It's 1/2. Wait a second. That's less than 1. So we know this is going to be a reduction. It's going to get smaller. And it's the exact same thing. All you have to do is multiply all the numbers by that scale factor. But wait, if I'm multiplying by 1/2, what am I really doing? I'm really dividing by 2. So in this case, saying multiply by 1/2 might be a little, weird to think about. So we're just going to divide everything by 2. So j is -10, 2. Our scale factor is 1/2, so let's divide by 2 everywhere. Bam. And j prime is going to be at -5, 1. All right, what about k? K is -2, 8. We're going to divide by 2. And j prime is going to be, k prime is going to be at -1, 4. And we're going to do that with all our pieces. So in the end, our answers would be, let me get this out of the way because it's all over my j prime blank. And my pieces would end up being -5, 1 for j prime. K prime would be -1, 4. If I divide by 2 right there, L prime would be 3, 1. L prime is 3, 1. And M prime, divide by 2, M prime is -1, -2. -1, -2. And now let's plot these points and make sure we have a reduction getting smaller. And bam, there it is. Look at it. The shape is the exact same, but the only difference is it got smaller. All right, so let's go to our last problem, number 5, and this one is a little different. This time we're not asked to draw the dilation. We're asked to identify the scale factor that we use to graph the image below. So in this situation, what are we going to do? Well, they show us the original image and our new image. They show us the pre-image and the image. So let's just take one of the points here. Let's take E. E, where's E? That's the original. E is at 6, 0. And where's E prime? Where's E prime? E prime is at 2, 0. Well, how did I go from E to E prime? How did 6 go to 2? I divided by 3. So if you look right here, if I divide by 3, 6 divided by 3 is 2, and 0 divided by 3 is still 0. So it would look, if we're dividing by 3, then what is our scale factor? Our scale factor would be k equals 1/3. 1/3. But let's just make sure we didn't make an error here. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to take another point. Let's take D. D is at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 0, 6. And D prime is at, where's that at? It's at 0, 2. Once again, how did I go from 6 to 2? I would have to divide by 3. And that looks like it looks the same. And let's just make sure one more time, without a shadow of a doubt, that this is in fact a scale factor of 1/3. Let's look at F and F prime. F is at -6, -3, and F prime is at -2, -1. So how did I go from -6 to -2? I divided by 3. How did I go from -3 to -1? I divided by 3. So on all of these pre-image to image points, it looks like I did in fact use the scale factor of dividing by 3, which is 1/3. And that's how you find the scale factors. And with that, back to Coach Goo. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of these example problems and the end of the transformation trilogy. So until next time, peace!